Factorization and expansion. In our previous chapters, we've come across factorization and expansion. Now we're going to look at these concepts in detail. Okay, we'll start with expansion. Expansion simply means to remove brackets. For example, we have a question like this: minus 7 into 2n plus 3, minus 7 times 2n plus 3. So use this number here to multiply this. Use it also to multiply this. So once you multiply, you have minus 14n, then minus 21. Okay, so let's take another example. 5 multiplying a plus 2, then 4 multiplying a plus 1. We're told to expand this. So like we did before, we have 5a is multiplying this, so multiply again. This multiplying this, we have plus 10, then plus this multiplying this becomes 4a, then this again will multiply this, and plus 4. We bring like terms together: 5a plus 4a plus 10 plus 4. That will give us 9a plus 14. So this is our final answer. Okay, let's look at another example. This goes this way: 2m cubed plus m square multiplying 3m minus 1. So to expand this, we have 2m cubed plus this will multiply this, we'll have it as 3m cubed. Then this will now multiply this number, we now have it as minus m squared. So this can add this because they have the same power, so it now becomes 5m cubed then minus m squared. Okay, so this is how to expand. Now let's look at other forms of expansion. Expansion of algebraic expressions. Now the first example goes this way: 2p minus 3q multiplying 5p minus 4. So it's still the same process. This will first multiply this again, we'll multiply this, then we'll do same for this, multiply this, then this. Okay, so let's start. 2p times 5p will give us 10p squared. Then 2p times minus 4 will give us minus 8p. Then for this, we now have minus 3q times 5p will give us minus 15qp. Then minus 3q times minus 4 will give us plus 12q. Okay, so this is where we'll end. There's nothing else we can do at this point. So that's our final answer. Now the next thing we'll look at is factorization. Having looked at expansion, let's now go to factorization. Okay, the first question goes this way: 2x multiplying 5a plus 2 multiplying 3y into 5a plus 2. Now the concept of factorization is just to bring out the like terms. So for this question, we have that this is here and is also found here. So we'll bring it out. So we have it as 5a plus 2, then multiplying 2x. Okay. Then also this 5a plus 2 is also multiplying this. So let me make it easier. we have it multiplying this and this, so it's a common factor. The easiest thing to do is to bring this number and this together, so it now becomes 2x minus 3y, then multiplying the common factor 5a plus 2. It's just as simple as that. So with this, if I take open the bracket, you have this 5p plus 2, multiply this, then it will now go again. First multiply this and multiply this. So by the time you are done with the multiplication, we'll come back to the original number, the original expression, showing that we are correct. Okay, so having looked at that, let's look at other examples to help us understand better factorization. So this says 2d cube plus d square multiplying 3d minus 1. Okay, so first of all, to factorize this, we need to find a way out. So looking at this number, we can break it down to bring out common factors. How do you break it down? We can break it down by saying, expressing as 2d times d squared, this times d squared. So when you multiply this back, you have 2d cube. So we now have 2d times d squared, then plus d square multiplying 3d minus 1. So we now have common factors. D square is multiplying this and d square is multiplying this. So we can easily bring d square out. Then what is now left? We now have 2d plus 3d minus 1. Okay, so we can further simplify this and to give us d squared into 5d minus 1. So this is the same expression as this we've done with the factorization. Okay, now let's look at other examples in factorization. Factorize y plus z multiplying 2y minus 5z, then minus y plus z square. Okay, so the first step in factorization is to find the factors. Find factors. So let's look for factors. We have y plus z here, multiplying this. We also have it here, multiplying this. So if we express this very well, we have it as y plus z as a factor here, multiplying 2y minus 5z, then minus, we now have y plus z multiplying another y plus z. That is the square here. So we now have our common factors, y plus z here, y plus z here. So we can easily say y plus z as a factor. We now multiply 2y plus 5z, then minus y plus z here. So this is a factor. These two, we brought them out to these points. So we now have this, then minus this one in brackets here. Okay, so why I put it in brackets is because it's a minus. Don't forget, once you open the brackets, the sign here changes. So we now have y plus z here multiplying 2y. I'm trying to simplify this, plus 5z minus y minus z. Okay, so it now becomes y plus z plus 2y minus y gives us y. Then 5z minus z there will give us plus 4z. So this is our final answer. Okay, now let's look at another concept under factorization called difference of two squares. Difference of two squares. Whenever you have an expression like this, a squared minus b squared, this is a square and this is a square. So this is called a difference. Difference of two squares. So we have two squares with a subtraction sign in between. So the rule states that a square minus b square is the same thing as a plus b multiplying a minus b. Okay, so you get the concept. We have just minus here, but the brackets now will not have the same a plus b here, a plus b, but one will have minus and one will have plus. That's just the rule. So this, we can prove it when we expand the brackets here. How do I expand? This will multiply this will multiply this into this into this. So a times a will give us a squared. A times minus b will give us minus ab. Then b times a will give us plus ab. Then b times minus b will give us minus b squared. So plus this minus this will cancel out. So we'll now come back to a minus a squared minus b squared, which is our final answer. So that's the difference of 2 squared. So with this idea, you can now use it to factorize some expressions. For example, we have x squared minus 4. I told to factorize this same thing as saying x squared minus 2 squared. So we've come back to this format of difference of 2 squares. So that's the same thing as saying x minus 2 multiplying x plus 2. So this is our final answer. We're done with factorization. Another example goes this way. 1 minus 9x squared. Factorize this. 1 is the same thing as 1 squared. Then minus 9x squared. 9x squared is the same thing as saying 1 raised to power 2 minus 3 raised to power 2 x raised to power 2. Okay, so this same thing as saying 1 squared minus 3x raised to power 2 or raised to power 2. Okay, so I have that format now of difference of 2 square. So this will now be 1 minus 3x multiplying 1 plus 3x. Okay, so that's the concept of difference of 2 squares. Okay, and that brings us to the end of the chapter. So click on take quiz to answer all the questions